You can hear us. No, you cannot hear us. Yeah. Okay, then let's start. I hope you all enjoyed lunch, and we're going to continue with the topic. We're going to present you a case, a success story in the gastronomy industry. Very happy to do that with Frank here. Let's just jump into the agenda, what we're going to present now. First thing, we did that project in SV Group, so we're going to present you the SV Group. We as braintec, I'm working for braintec, we're going to present us what we do as Odoo partner, as we did the implementation. Then a short history about the project, as it's quite a long-running project. There will be some words about the things that are special in the gastronomy industry, and then we will show you or gonna explain you a few things how that was solved in Odoo. So how Odoo was used to tackle these things. And then the project is also very special because we did development and we did the migration at the same time. And that is a challenge for itself. So we're going to talk a few words about the migration. And in the end, we're going to give you some numbers about the project. There will be a possibility for you to ask questions. So you can put out questions on the pad here as usual. If you have some questions, the project is now 4 years on, and I cannot explain or cannot explain you everything in just 20 minutes. So happy to answer specific questions here. First, to my person, I'm Andreas Stauder. I'm working for braintec now 11 years with Odoo. Started with OpenERP, and the thing we did here in this project was we implemented everything from the planning till the cash. So we're going to explain that further then what that means, but you see it on the slides. There are some steps involved that you can see here. So Frank is with me.
My name is Frank Jelle. It's probably a little bit difficult in English, so just call me Frank. I'm working for SV Group since roughly around 15 years. My entire background is within the gastronomy industry. And I came to this project 2 years ago. I kind of saw it evolving, progressing, and I joined it actively 2 years ago. And passion since 1914, is a slogan from our company. At 2014, our company existed 100 years. And I think with Odoo, we laid the foundation or the tracks for probably the next 100 years. While reading this while I'm up here is far more interesting 100 years ahead than while I wrote the PowerPoint, just as a side note. I continue. Who is SV Group? We are based in Switzerland. We have restaurants approximately 550 plus in Switzerland, Austria, and Germany. We were founded 1914 by a woman called Else Sübler-Spilin, a very progressive woman. 1914, she basically founded that group in order to give soldiers from the First World War another reason to spend their money other than on alcohol and on cigarettes. So she started restaurants to give them sustainable and healthy food. We had our first business partner in 1914. We still have that business partner until today. We're very proud of working with them together. In 1928, she actually went to Ford Motor Company in Detroit, America, to have a look at what they're doing over there, and she implemented a lot of things coming back to Switzerland. And our group, until today, do a lot of these things. We have 15 hotels, some we franchise, and we have our own brand. We have them in Germany and in Switzerland. We have approximately 7,000, 6,900 employees. I always say we are the little UN, United Nations. We speak about 80 different languages within our company. We served 25 million main dishes in 2022. Why main dishes? This is very important to us. We don't have breakfast, we don't have dinner, all we do is basically lunches. So 25 million is a big number for us, and since 1914 we committed to sustainability and eating healthy long before that was a slogan or even a marketing tool. That is SB Group. Thank you.
So I'm happy to present to you braintec. Braintec is not that old, but we are also founded in 2000. In the year 2000, and we are Odoo partner since 2009, so quite an old partner in that system. We are now 80 plus employees across 10 locations in Switzerland, Austria, Germany, and Spain and Poland, actually. We are gold partner in Switzerland and Austria and Germany. That's also where SV Group is active, so perfect match from that. And we've been selected, and we are very proud of that, as best Odoo partner in Europe already 3 times. Let's see what will happen this evening. We hope for the best. As we are nominated this year again. And what we do is our clients are small, mid-sized companies, but as you see, also quite large companies where we can implement Odoo, and we did that already in more than 300 companies. So we are full service in Odoo. We do everything well there, and are just dedicated to Odoo, so we do nothing else with this more than 80 employees. So let's come back to the project here, how everything began. Everything began with a proof of concept, where we had to show that Odoo can really have all the functionalities that have been requested, as it's competing against industry-specific solutions, and Odoo is never an industry-specific solution. I think this is why you are here in the talk, to learn about how to adapt Odoo to the gastronomy. And we started with an implementation after 2 months. We could do a whole presentation. So the guest came in and was asked what the menu will be. So the main dish with several components, meat, potatoes, whatever. And then this was planned. So to plan the dish, to plan the lunch is something really important. And then he could continue, take that, and was then to the cashier system, and could actually buy the dish, and could see that then in the Odoo portal. So it was the whole way from planning to buy and see it in the see it then what they have chosen afterwards in the portal, and that the data goes all the flow. That was completely new, and that proof of concept showed already the whole flow. And then for sure this was just a proof of concept. We started then with the implementation, and with the menu planning we did an interface to an external cashier system, a third-party cashier system, not the one in Odoo, because it was already existing there. In 2020, 2021, the rollout started, and there was additional to what already existed in Odoo, the procurement was done in an external system because they've been more specialized in that and had more accurate data. And then in 2022 till today, we work on the cash workflow, so how to get the money in the end, to say like that. And we also migrated from version 13 to 15 during a project, during a running project. So that's the history of the project. So.
Okay. Thank you, Andreas. Stock management, without managing the stock. If you read this, a lot of people in here might go, "Oh, what is he talking about?" That's basically how we started. A lot of our chefs, our restaurant managers, they had it up here in their belly, in their guts. They probably had it up here in their brain, and maybe some of them had it on a spreadsheet. By that I mean is they never knew when exactly how many customers are coming, what are the stock levels, and all these kind of things. And Odoo helped us with that tremendously. I told you before, 550 restaurants out of the 550, 400 already using Odoo on a daily basis. So for our company, that was a major step forward. So we know our stock levels now. We got local suppliers and global recipes. I'm two days now here in Brussels, and I see global recipes all over the place. It's so unique, Brussels. And just imagine Switzerland. We have 3 different languages. We have 3 different areas. We speak Italian, French, and German. We want to have one recipe, let's say a traditional dish like rösti. That's one potato. That sounds pretty simple, but in Switzerland it's actually sometimes very challenging. And we managed that. We created, Andreas and his team, and a team that was there before me, created something really unique. He always calls it USP. I can tell you, 5 people in our company understand it. He's one of them, even he's not in our company. I understand it, and the rest don't know jack shit what we're doing, but all the chefs understand it, what we're doing. So they can create or use that one recipe with different local suppliers within Switzerland. Yeah, and declaration and sustainability leads me next to it. It's constantly evolving. I'm allergic to sesame. Now and before I knew what I can eat, but all the other customers, all the other clients can now see actually from the loading bay to the kitchen, to the counter, to their dishes. They can see, ask the chefs, all the chefs know, are there sesames in there, celeries, etc. We declare it, and sustainability, I told you, we're doing this since 1914. We try to reduce the carbon footprint. We tried that before. Now we know how to measure it and put numbers behind that, and we will do that. It's not working quite yet, but we will do that. One of the biggest challenges that we actually had was not the software. It's like always is the people. If you work with 6,000 employees, and if you ever work with chefs, I'm a chef myself, if you ever work with chefs, they're very hard to convince. But we had a great team within our company of 6 people who did that in Switzerland, who are doing this in Germany, and will do this in Austria. And with the help of braintec and Odoo, we managed very, very good in my personal opinion. And with that, I will give it back to you, Andreas.
Yeah, so the question is, how does Odoo help in all that? We already gave you an impression what it means, this project. So first, it's planning. It's about recipes. Recipes do not exist in Odoo, but what exists in Odoo are the bill of materials to manufacture something. But manufacturing is something that you do always the same way. And as Frank said, you have different suppliers. So the goods you use, the components you use, are just locally available, and in each region you have different components, so you need endless recipes, endless bill of materials in standard Odoo. And we extended that, but it's always based, and that's the important thing, it's always based on the bill of material, so always based on manufacturing. When we did something, we never tried, or we always tried to keep the process in Odoo running, but added additional functionality on top of it. So we really did was sometimes a hard job to not break standard Odoo and put the functionality always on top of that. the changes of the recipes are adapted because several reasons, and we use the PLM in Odoo for that, works perfectly. For the cache system that we have, it's a third-party cache system, but the data flows into Odoo. So what we do? We take the POS that exists in Odoo, and we do as someone would have typed that stuff in the Odoo cache system. Then it runs all the normal workflow in Odoo and profits from all the advantages. Same with the invoices. The invoices are created in from several sources, but we use the invoices in Odoo, and when necessary, we added functionality, but we never broke the workflow that already exists in Odoo. And that helped us enormously when we go to the, as we will see in the next slide.
Yeah, Andreas mentioned it, I think already twice. We did live immigration while we were already in the process of running it. Thanks to the team, the entire team is there today, by the way. That's the major crowd over here up front. And we did it in one day, one business day with braintec together. I think we did 95% of the migration in one day and 5% on Sunday for a couple of hours. How we did it, we communicated a lot, we talked a lot, we dry run, we test, and we test again. And one of the biggest outcomes was basically, next time we need to order the pizza far away in advance because we had an incident and then the pizza got cold and everybody, the whole team got frustrated because of a cold pizza. And that's the biggest learning we got out of it. I personally looking forward for version 17. What I saw yesterday looked great, so I'm happy for the next migration. And maybe, who knows, we order pizza again or we order some Asian or halal food. Never knows.
Okay, something else I want to mention that is in my eyes key in this project is how we handle the projects in braintec. So in braintec we are doing always Scrum where it's possible, and when we see that this project now is already 4 years old and still we are developing. So 4 years ago it wasn't clear what we need today in this project. So Scrum leads to, first of all, that we can adapt. We do sprints of 4 weeks. So every 4 weeks we can adapt. And that makes it pretty agile, what is also the sense of that. But it also lets us focus on what is the most important thing in the next step. So it's the possibility to focus really where the next things, where we can create the most business value in the next step. So we do that as it's a really big team working on that every 4 weeks. And I would say even there was a challenging thing to introduce that. It is key of the success that the project could be adapted always. So in the end, we want to give you some numbers about the project as it's now in the database. We have more than 600,000 menus, main dishes and products. We have more than 140,000 recipes in the database, so the chefs can choose out of that huge database of recipes. We have nearly 1 million manufacturing orders, and with the system are more than 1,000 users working day for day, and yeah. So I would say now it's time for the questions. There are some.
Oh, apologies. So, Frank and Andreas, thank you very much for this very interesting talk. Can I have a big round of applause for them? And also thank you to come all the way from Switzerland to our beloved Belgium. So our first question that we got was, how did Odoo improve SV Group's sustainability? And how are you measuring this?
How did it improve it? That's a good question. We did it basically before. We did it, but like I said, we did it from the gut, a couple of Excel spreadsheets. So we track it now. We get it from the second we actually get the product. We know we can evaluate it. We can put it into a certain bracket, into a certain corner, or attributes to it, and that's how we can kind of track it, manage it. And I hope I answered the question. Okay, for the person who asked the question.
I hope so. Thank you. So, is an individual programming, or are there standard apps that you're mainly using in the Odoo, your Odoo database?
Yeah, there are the standard apps in Odoo that we are using, like the manufacturing, for example, the accounting, all that. But that's not enough. So here we had to adapt it to the workflows and improve it in the area where it was not industry specific. So, but as I told, that's something that we did on top of it, on top of the standard functionality, and that's something that is really unique with Odoo. You do not have an industry specific solution in Odoo. That's not the goal. But it's so easy to adapt, and it's so fast to adapt. And that makes it possible to adapt to the client really to what they have in their workflow. And that's the unique thing with Odoo. And that's why our work as a partner to adapt this.
Okay, thank you. And how long did the migration took from start to the go live?
Yeah, the migration, we made a stop in development, or it was supposed to be a stop in development for 3 months. That was the plan, to stop the development in version 13 for 3 months, do the migration and test the migration. There have been a lot of tests there, and then do it 1 weekend, just boom, changing the database and going online Monday morning with version 15 again. So when we've been ready, more or less, with version 15, we could start developing again, but based on the what was available in 15. So the 3-month stop of the development wasn't really 3 months, but all overall, I would say yes, it's been this 3 months.
Okay, a bit of a longer question. How did you manage multi-units of measure and changes between buy and manufacturing categories of these units of measure?
We broke it down to 3 measurements, basically. That's what we did. It sounds very simple, but that's what we did. That's what we did with our suppliers, and we didn't measure in units like cups or so. It's just basically piece, kilograms, and liter, and that's what we did. And that's what we did already in advance with most of our suppliers. A couple of, especially vegetables, it wasn't that easy. We had to talk a lot with the suppliers, but that's what we're doing now, bottom line.
Okay. And Andreas, could you go a bit in more depth regarding to the Scrum process with SV Group? There's a question about that. A bit more about the Scrum process of the that you had with SV Group. Yeah,
the process with Scrum, I cannot explain Scrum now as a methodology, but Scrum is mainly a management method where you can where you do in cycles. The cycle here is 4 weeks, where you define a cycle for the next 4 weeks, and then you're going to implement that cycle in a so-called sprint. And so we prepare everything to be ready for the next cycle in advance, and then we estimated how much time we need to develop that, and then it's ready to go for the next sprint. And Normally there shouldn't be any adaptations in the sprint. We do that 4 weeks development and then going in the next cycle, but we also have to prepare the next cycle also during the during the current cycle, and that's how we do that.
Thank you. And how do you manage the accounting within Odoo? Different parts, different companies, different restaurants. Could you go a bit more in depth?
Yeah, the accounting, it's using the multi-company setup of Odoo, the existing multi-company setup. And we are doing the invoices, inventory, and a few other workflows in Odoo. And then the data is going to send to SAP. So it's not a full accounting in Odoo, but all the cash, all the incoming cash plus inventory is going through Odoo, is there done in account moves, and then transmitted to SAP.
Okay, and 6,900 employees, it's a lot of people. Was it challenging to get everyone on board with the change management?
Yeah, it was. It still is, as a matter of fact, because the industry changes a lot. Before Corona, during Corona, of course, we always have to train new people. We also open always new restaurants, so it's a constantly change. Like I mentioned before, chefs could be very hard-headed. I told you I'm a chef. So we did it with 6 former chefs. We went to the restaurants and we had the approach hands-on. We didn't show them like in an e-learning lesson or so on. We went to them, asked them, so how you write your menu? And then we do it straight away in Odoo. Where are the challenges? And we conquered them immediately, one by one. And then we let them roll for a couple of weeks, and we always kept in contact with them. And if they needed us, they contact us, and we went there. Switzerland is not that big in terms of square miles, but it's big in terms, like I told you before, we have 3 different languages, and that was challenging. And then we are now basically in Germany rolling out. There we have far more distances, but we have little local teams. We created like a super user, and he's in charge of other users. And that worked pretty well, honestly. We thought we'd get far more wind. I don't know how to say it in English. Wind against our windshields while you drive in. We got it, of course. That's natural. But we convinced a lot of people because after a couple of months, weeks, the biggest gain for them was before they were writing and rewriting and rewriting and rewriting their menus. And we kind of teach them how to write them once, and then you copy them. And just with that copy and paste method, we convinced them. That was the winner.
Okay, final question here. Are you using payroll? And if not, are you willing, now the Swiss payroll system is enrolled, are you willing to change to that?
Yeah, braintec has the Swiss certified payroll in Switzerland. So that's the difference to what is existing, it will be existing in version 17. We have a Swiss tax, so an officially certified payroll system, but we are currently not using it in the project. But that's a main product of braintec.
And maybe a question of myself. Are you excited of using the kitchen display presented on version 17?
I'm excited to see it live, to be honest. Yeah, I'm looking forward. That's all I can say. Yesterday I felt sick after the keynote. I went home. You might hear that in my voice, but I'm looking forward to see it in action. Yeah.
Great. Can I have again a big round of applause for Andreas and yeah, thank you. And Frank.